Hey there, and welcome to Converse County Conversations. I'm your host, Brandi Sorensen, your neighbor, and probably the girl in the truck singing country too loud at the stoplight. I want to tell you why this podcast exists and why I hope you stick around. I grew up in Utah in a family where storytelling wasn't just something we did. It's a way of life. My dad had a gift. He was a cowboy poet and a world-class storyteller, and he saw everything as part of a bigger story. Every town we passed through, every mountain, diner, cemetery, or rundown barn, he had a name, a memory, and a lesson tied to it. It wasn't just nostalgia, it was connection. It was knowing that a town isn't made of buildings, it's made of people. And those people, they carry dreams, mistake, grit, and sometimes a whole lot of heartbreak, but also hope. And those stories, they matter because they root us. Now I live in Converse County, Wyoming. I love it here, the land, the pace, the people, but something's been missing. I don't know the deeper stories. I know the headlines and the businesses, but not always the legacy behind them. I don't know who started what or who kept it going through the droughts, busts, or booms. I don't know who sacrificed what to build the towns we now live in, and I want you. So this podcast, it's me learning. It's me chasing those stories down, asking the questions my dad used to ask. It's me sitting down with longtime locals, business owners, ranchers, veterans, school teachers, and maybe even a guy who sells your coffee to find out what they've seen, what they've built, and what they love or lost right here in Converse County. This is about deeper appreciation. It's about slowing down long enough to listen. It's about honoring the people who came before us and recognizing those still shape our towns today. And I won't lie, sometimes we'll get gritty. Real stories aren't always polished, but they're honest, and that's what makes them beautiful. So if you're someone who wants to feel more rooted, who loves a good backstory, or who just wants to see their hometown with fresh eyes, you're in the right place. Welcome to Converse County Conversations. Let's dig in. Welcome back to another conversation, an episode of Converse County Conversations. We are here with Tyler Johnston, who you get to see a lot, me and him talking together if you follow us in other ways. But I wanted to interview Tyler. He has been a third generation real estate agent here in Converse County, and he's got deep roots here. So I wanted to interview him. Welcome.
Hi.
He's usually the one behind the camera on Converse County Conversations and editing, but
now you're making me sit in front of the camera.
I'm like, yeah, we do a lot of talk. You have good stories.
True. Okay.
So, okay, tell us about your family. Johnston Realty has been in Douglas for 3 generations. So tell us about that for those who don't know.
Yeah, for quite a while. It was started by my grandfather, Harry Johnston, in 1958.
Okay.
He had a construction company, and he built a lot of homes around town.
Okay.
Harry's Better Builders. It was cool, some people that were like remodeling their homes in town. Well, back in the day, he wanted to make sure that none of his lumber was being stolen. So he had branded
Oh, okay.
all
the lumber.
The lumber that he was building the homes with. And it said Johnston, Better Builder, you know. So when they were going through remodeling, they actually pulled out pieces
that's cool.
and brought it down and gave it to my dad.
Oh, that's
so
fun.
that was sitting in the office for a long time. Well, let's see, he was doing that, so then he started the real estate, and then in the 60s, he and my grandmother bought the LaBonte Hotel, and then they ran the LaBonte Hotel for a number of years. And then after they sold that, he was back into the real estate. And then my father was a licensed attorney down in Denver and partner in a law firm down in Denver. And he did that for a number of years. And then he went out and he started a portable toilet company. So he had porta potties all over the state of Wyoming and down in Denver. He told me a story where he actually had a porta potty on the set of Close Encounters of the Third Kind at Devil's Tower.
Oh, okay.
I said, that's so cool. He goes, no, it's not. They didn't pay their bill. Oh, okay, sore spot. But then after he quit the law practice and they sold the Sandal at the toilet company, they moved back to Douglas, and he started selling real estate with my grandfather in 84, 85.
Okay.
Right when oil went and really tanked. He said it was a great time to get into real estate.
I guess, because people need to move and sell their house.
Well,
But also just rough? Like, tell me about that.
Yeah, just because he said it was rough. He said, they had, well, you can't see it anymore, but it used to be if you went down Green River Street, you go down to the end, and there's all those townhomes. And they're the twin homes. Well, they had poured the foundation for a bunch and then never built.
They couldn't.
And I mean, it was like that, until after 2000, well after 2000, they never built homes on those lots. I mean, my friends and I used to ride our bikes down and we'd ride up the driveway because it was a full foundation for twin homes. And we'd pop wheelies over the stub outs for the bathrooms and stuff. And he said it was just a real hard time, just trying to get people trying to get moved, and the homes sold, and people were moving out of town. He said they had one gal, he said she was a renter. And he said she had the most beautiful furniture, and she just kept the house immaculate. And all of these homes over on Sweetwater and everything, they were all the same. And there was a bunch of them listed for sale. And she moved into one and decorated and put in all of her furniture and stuff. And then it would sell. So then they'd move her into another one.
It was like the first part of staging.
Yes.
Oh my heck.
It was like the third or fourth time. My grandfather made a joke. He said, maybe we should be paying her commission for helping us sell these.
Yeah. But that was the one that would sell. Interesting.
So then they did that, and it was just my dad and my grandpa. And then a friend of my dad's, Cliff Erickson, had his license, but he didn't really do a lot with real estate. They had always had an agent or two that would just kind of be there, but not. So it was really just family owned for a long time. Then my grandfather had a heart attack, and my mom got her license so she could help out my dad.
Okay.
And then after my grandfather passed away, it was just my parents, and they'd have a secretary now and then, and somebody that would come pick me up after they forgot, because I'd call from golf practice or basketball or whatever, and oh shoot, yeah, sorry, we'll have somebody come get you.
Yeah.
Being a parent that sells real estate, appointments run long, and I told my kids, I said, get used to it. You're getting forgotten. My parents forgot me all the time.
Yeah, I tell my kids, it builds character.
Yeah,
it's fine. Not that like, we don't need to coddle you, and
they knew where I was, and but
fine.
A lot of times I was the last one I picked up, or I was just like, oh, it is what it is.
Yeah, having working parents, it's hard. Not, I'm not saying that but it is different, because my parents both worked and everything too, and they weren't in real estate, but I would get forgotten, or just like running late, or you
don't get to leave when you're supposed to.
Yep. Or if you forget they're at work, they're not bringing you, sorry, like you're gonna have to tell your teacher you'll bring it tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, that was I think it was last year. I forgot to pick Kaysen up because I was late for something, and I showed up, and she was sitting with Mr. Notman, the principal. And I was like, I'm so sorry, and he's just laughing because I think he kind of started here about when Bradley started kindergarten. So he's known all of the kids, and he was telling, Kaysen tells me, she goes, yeah, Mr. Notman said he's waited with all of us because you've forgotten all of us. And I was like, yeah, pretty much. But then grandfather passed away in '94, so it was just mom and dad. Okay. And then I graduated in 2000 and left. And then I met Candace my sophomore year of college, and we got married and had our son the following summer. And I got a job for Coca-Cola down in Scottsbluff, and I was a delivery driver for Coke, and I got promoted after 6 months, and I was a route manager. And then 6 months later, I got a job offer from Budweiser, and that was who everybody in town wanted to work for.
Okay.
Budweiser. They paid better, better trucks, all the things. Yeah. And I called my dad, and I was like, hey, I just got this really good job offer from Budweiser. He said, oh, cool, congrats, good for you. Quit. I was like, what?
I got it.
He said, quit. your mom and I just bought the LaBonte.
Oh,
I said,
they
what?
bought it back.
Yeah, they bought it back. I said, oh, okay. And he was always doing
Businesses or...
Yeah, but I don't understand why he always did restaurants, because they're so hard.
They are hard.
And he used to own the Country Inn, which is where it's out there by the First Interstate.
Oh, okay.
It's a church now. It used to be
Oh, okay.
a restaurant. He and
All
a
right.
partner had that as a restaurant sometime in the 90s, and I was like, oh, okay. But then, so it was 05. He's like, quit. We bought the LaBonte. And I said, what do you mean quit? He goes, well, you're running it.
Do I get a choice?
What? I think I was like 22. And so Candace was pregnant with Ty. And we said after, because we really liked our doctor, and we had insurance through work. I was like, after Ty's born, we'll
We
move
can
back.
come back.
And we moved back to Douglas 5 days after Ty was born.
Oh, wow.
So that was really wonderful. I don't hear about that ever. Candace never tells me about that.
Yeah, moving 5 days postpartum.
Yeah, and then it was just the way that all worked. Ty ended up with whooping cough. And when she was 17 days old, she was life flighted to Denver and spent 6 weeks in the NICU. And then it was a good thing, because they were still doing the real estate, but they were still trying to get the LaBonte. The bar was open, but they hadn't opened the restaurant
Oh, okay.
or any of that stuff. And they were going to open it in July. And we brought Ty home from the hospital on like Monday, and the restaurant was supposed to open on Thursday or Friday. And I just happened to be walking around trying to meet the people that would get hired and stuff, because I was supposed to manage everything.
Yeah.
And they're all telling me, they're all proud of themselves. They had a couple partners, and we're going to do this, and this is what we're going to serve, and this, and the guy running the kitchen had ordered everything in. I said, well, that's cool. I said, well, can I see a menu?
They didn't have one.
My mom and dad looked at each other like, what? I was like, you guys don't have a menu? You should make one of those. So that was my introduction into restaurants.
Yeah.
Had to go home and make a menu, like that day, so we could open 2 days later.
Oh my gosh.
And so I did that for a while. I got my license in 07, because I was like, I'm not bar, restaurant type of thing. I was just like, this
Isn't
is
your...
my thing. So I got my real estate license in 07. And then I went to work in Casper for a while. My mom didn't want me to do real estate.
Really?
Kind of like you had talked with Kinsey. Parents not wanting a kid. Do you really want to do this? Do you want to? And she was really kind of dead set against me doing real estate.
Did she tell you why?
No, she just kind of said, it's hard. It's, it is what it is.
It's up-down commission.
Up-down.
Yeah.
But shoot, when I was in middle school, they didn't have computers really. So they had typewriters. So they typed all the contracts out. My dad would write it out on a legal pad, and I was in like 6th, 7th grade, and I was down there on a weekend with a typewriter, and he'd hand me
The paper.
a handwritten contract.
So like not the contracts that you fill in the blanks, but like each contract was its own.
He wrote it out from scratch because he was an attorney.
Right.
And he had done real estate stuff, is what he'd done in Colorado. So I had a 4 to 5 page legal pad with his fancy cursive that I couldn't freaking read. And he's like, type this. And so I would type the whole contract out on the typewriter and then hand it to him. And he'd be like, no, this is wrong. I'm like,
Oh geez, so then you'd have to type that whole page.
Thing.
Oh yeah.
And then about 7th grade, word processors showed up, with a floppy disk and the screen just big enough. I was like, oh, this is fantastic. This saves me so much time. I can delete. So that was my, like I said, my middle school stuff, first introduction into it. Or, as a non-licensee, you can't answer questions.
Right.
And so we're talking about getting busy. My dad would hand me keys. Go meet Bernie. over at 5th Street. And Bernie Seabaum was one of the agents in town. I was like, what? He's like, well, go let him in. I was like, okay. He said, but don't answer any questions. I was like, what? He goes, if he asks you anything, don't answer any questions. Don't get tricked into this. You can't answer. I'm like, okay. And so I would just show up and let people in.
Oh my heck, that's funny.
So, but then my mom got sick. She fell and hit her head and had a brain hemorrhage. And so, well, before that, she had breast cancer. And so Dad needed to be able to take her for chemo and stuff. And so I quit my job in Casper. At that point, I was a manager for Verizon Wireless and worked the office 5 days a week. And
but you still held your license? Or
I kept my
had you...
license the whole time.
Yeah, okay.
And then when Mom was sick, I was taking care of the office and showing, so he could take her back and forth to all of her appointments. That was when I really sold my first house. That was
like the whole thing.
The whole thing. It was my listing, sold it, the whole 9 yards, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool, because then I got my check. And it was this beat up single wide trailer out in Chalk Buttes. Really all they were buying was the lot, because they were going to put a new manufacturer on it. And I thought, well, this is cool. And my mom was still, and I was like, what? She's like, yeah. And it was 6 months before I sold another house. That's because before I was really just kind of helping them out. Going to showings, rentals, that type of stuff, maintaining as I learned stuff. But yeah, I was like, oh, this is cool. And then it was just nothing for 6 months. I was like, oh, this is hard. So that was a real...
You show a lot of houses before you sell a house.
Yeah. And I think that was really why my mom was so dead set against it. She was like, no, I don't want you to do this. But then she passed away. And after she passed, it was just Dad and I. And it probably took about 6 months before he came back to the office. And then it was still kind of hit and miss. But I mean, he was always a phone call away, and he'd stop in, but he would come in and stay. But then he had rotator cuff surgery, and then he had to have a hernia surgery. I mean, all these things just kind of lined up, and he just kind of quit coming. And people would stop in, where's your dad? And I'm like, he's at home. Was he retired? I said, well, he's damn well earned it. If he wants to come in, he can come in. If not. I said, I know. I mean, you need something, I can call him. Oh, no, that's fine. And so then they'd sit, and I'd get to hear the stories about my dad, or about my grandfather, or one of the old timers would stop in and visit and tell me how cool my grandmother was, because she was a school teacher here.
Oh, okay.
And she was strict, but she was very pretty, I was told.
That's so cool.
So it was all that type of stuff as I kind of...
Because your family's office was here in downtown Douglas,
yeah, it was right across the street from Converse County Bank, just next to the Masonic Temple.
Oh, okay.
So it was right in the middle of downtown. And that's where it had always been. And then after Dad had passed away, I was in the process of, Candace and I were going to sell our house and buy Mom and Dad's house down. And an attorney friend of his showed up with a note and mortgage that my parents had signed and said, you owe me this much money for this building. And I was like, no. He goes, what do you mean no? I was like, no. I was like, no, I'm trying to buy a house. I'm not going to take on a mortgage here too. I said, he said, well, what do I need an office building for? I was like, I don't know, but I don't need one either. Because everything
because by that time, were you spending time in the office?
Not really. I mean, I was there when I was doing editing. So if I was editing listing photos or making videos, I was there during the day if I didn't have anything else to do. But
were people coming into the office or calling? Like, how did you make that transition, I guess?
Well, ever since when Dad quit coming to the office, we still had the same phone number. And I was like, okay, I can't deal with the answering machine. because I was, we had 5 kids. And at one point we had 4 different kids in 4 different schools around town. So just drop off.
Yeah.
I was gone for at least an hour just dropping and picking
In this
kids
little
up.
town. I know.
Yes.
It's so crazy. That was one shock moving here that I'm like, this is nuts.
Well, yeah, by the time you pick somebody up at the primary and then drive across to the upper, and then you got to hit the middle school,
Yeah.
and then you got to drop somebody off at the high school for practice,
Yes.
and then take them home. And then by the time I would leave at 2:45, and I wouldn't get back to the office until 4:15. And then I would leave at 5:30 to go pick everybody up and round them up and take them home.
Yeah.
So I gave up on the landline.
Oh,
So
okay.
we had the
it
landline. I had it forwarded to my cell phone, and my dad was like, "What are you doing?" He called, and I answered the phone. He was like, "Where are you?" I was like,
Doing what?
I don't even know what I was doing. I was taking pictures somewhere. I think I might have been down by Wheatland because we had an off-the-grid property down there listed. He goes, "But I called the office." I was like, "Yeah, I know. I can't be there to answer the phone, so it's being forwarded to my cell phone." Smart. You can do that? And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, okay." And I used to turn it off at night, and then I quit turning it off. I just always had it forwarded to my cell. But the people that would walk in, it was usually friends of Dad's who then we'd get familiar, and they'd sit down and we'd talk about things going on in town, rec center votes or COVID when that was going and all that stuff. And, so I wasn't really in the office a lot because it was just me, and so everything was mobile. If I was going to look at a house, you've got to go to the house.
Yeah.
You got to go sit with the seller.
Yeah.
And go over the contract. And so I kind of adopted a whole, well, I'll just come to you approach, not, well, meet me at the office in 20 minutes. And
Right.
I still had some
And
people,
then we'll go to your house.
Yeah. Or if I had buyers, sometimes they'd stop in.
Yeah.
But I would say, new clients types of things, it was rare that somebody just walked in and said, "Hey, I want to go see a house," if I hadn't already talked to them. Or, but it did get to the point. I remember my dad talking to me in high school. He'd gone down just to do paperwork on a Sunday. He said he'd be gone for an hour, and he was gone for 5, and he came back and I was like, "What are you doing?" He was only sold a house. I was like, "What?" He said, "Well, they saw my truck in front of the office, but they stopped." And I started noticing that if I had my vehicle in front of the office, people would stop to say hi and visit or do whatever. But then when I was trying to do videos or photo editing or something like that, they'd stop too. But they'd stop, and so then we'd sit and we'd visit for 45 minutes to an hour. And then they'd leave, and I still have 45 minutes to an hour worth of work to do. So I started parking in the back of the office towards the end.
When you were.
Because it was if I knew I needed to focus and get something done, I had to park in the back. Otherwise, people would knock on the door or come in and
To come visit.
just to visit, and hang out. When I took because when he passed away, I didn't have my broker's license. I had taken the test before, but I never finished sending in the paperwork. And then when I did, I had missed it by 5 days.
'Cause you
So
have to
I had
do
to
it so
redo
many.
it all. So after he passed, I had to take all the online exams and everything. Well, there's this big thing of if anybody walks in, you couldn't, it was an automatic fail because they think you're cheating.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're being proctored. Well, I didn't really have any place to sit except at the office because of the kids at home and everything. So I had this big note taped to the glass of the front door and it says,
Do not
"Test
come
taking.
in.
I'll call you back. Don't knock, and I locked the door. And I had to sit there for 2 hours just hoping
Nobody
walked
was
in.
like,
So, but yeah, so then after that, it was just, I was like, well, he said, "Well, this is what you owe me." I was like, "No," because we had ended up buying the house. The house is in the county. I was like, "I can work from home, and I'm not going to pay internet here and there, power here and there." So I was just
the way things are now.
yeah, I was like, just forget it. But at that point, I hadn't planned on adding people
Yeah.
to the office. It was just going to be me. So now I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. It's interesting the way things are going. So back when your dad was having you type those up, did they hand deliver the contracts to the other agents?
Yeah. They would go drop it off.
Yeah. I remember we were talking at my last place and somebody said, yeah, when we used to have to fax them. And one of the new kids was like, what's a fax? I was like, are you serious? We're okay. All right.
Well, see, and we go so far the other way. My dad bought it, but couldn't hook it up.
The fax machine.
The fax machine. So I had to hook it up. That's what his thing. He would like see something really cool, like the VCR. I remember
so
when we
he
got
wanted
VCR.
one, but he didn't know.
So he bought one so we could watch movies. But he'd bring it home and he'd be like, here, just give it to me. It's like, go make it work. So he got a fax machine and got that all hooked up. And my grandpa comes walking out and he's like, look, Dad, fax machine. He goes, what's that for? He goes, well, so we can fax the contracts to the title office after they're signed. And Grandpa looked at it and looked at my dad and goes, you're too lazy to walk half a block and drop it off? So it was really that. Yeah, I mean, he was like, you can't walk.
Go be it.
Just go drop off. He was like, no, this is, and he's like, you didn't understand.
Yeah.
Because then they would fax the offers to other offices.
Right.
All that. But yeah, Grandpa was like, no, you go deliver it. That's what you're being paid for.
Yeah. Well, once we explained the fax machines, then somebody's like, and before that, we had to handle, and they were like, because think of how many times we call, text, email, like other agents now. And it was like, if you had to do everything and then go drive it to them, like, especially because like I do business in Douglas, Glen Rock, and Casper.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't really do that.
No.
Well, and you think of it now, I still run into it, and I know you've run into it a couple times, where you've got a seller who won't do the e-sign.
Right, and then you got to go to their house, print it, to go to their house, and then go back and then scan it
sign
in.
it, scan it, mail it.
Right.
Yep. But then you have to tell the other agents, be like, hey, look.
We need a little extra time.
You
I
gotta give me
cannot
time.
just email this to them and have them sign it.
Yeah, so it changes your response time.
Right.
And now that's the few where it used to be the norm.
The other, yeah. Yeah. Well, and somebody in one of my real estate classes recently was saying something about, because like before the internet, and I didn't even like think about this, but like the MLS, you know, we can go and look at all there was like, they had like a book, like, I don't even know how it worked because they just kind of glossed over it. And I was like, what?
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm guessing when you had a listing, you had to go and like tell all the other agents in town. I don't know, were there lots of agents in town? How did that work?
There was agents in town. I believe it would just be people would see the sign.
Okay.
And then they would call.
And I
say,
feel
hey,
like that's such a small amount of sales right now are from the sign.
From the sign. Yeah, because everything starts online. It used to be
the opposite.
It was the sign. The sign was what drove people.
Okay, so then they would call your sign.
But then you still had the MLS, but
So most times you were doing both sides.
most times I think you were doing both sides.
Because you didn't have an agent that went and showed you other agents
Well,
as much.
If somebody said, hey, would call and say, hey, I've got a buyer, and they saw this house, so then
Oh, okay.
it still worked that way.
Okay.
But buyers at the time didn't really have the internet because every week I would print off a new book, an MLS book. I'd get onto the MLS,
And then they would come into the
print it
office
off, and it was just, folded pages. And Douglas used to have anywhere between 70 to 100 homes on the market at any time. Back in the early 2007 until COVID.
That's so crazy.
You'd have all this, and it would just be a picture of the front, how many bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage,
Like
and people would walk in and say, hey, do you have a list of everything? And you're like, sure. what are you
Let's
looking
sit down
for?
and
then they'd sit down and you'd type it in and find 3 bedrooms or 5 bedrooms. And then you'd print off a book and you'd say, here, are any of these look? And then you'd have this conversation where now we're just doing it. Sure, I sent you the link on your phone. Did you get it? What did you? But you were doing it sitting in person. But yeah, every week you'd print off a book. My mom would go through and cut out, print them, and cut out, and she had a bulletin board with all of their listings.
Okay, yeah.
And it would sit facing the front window, so when people walk by the window, they could stop and look inside.
Okay.
And see what was for sale. But yeah, that was how it was done when I first started. Then I got the idea to where I went and I made a PowerPoint every week.
Oh.
And because they had this, they really had it for like my kids. They had this big TV with a DVD player. So when my kids were at work with me, they could watch TV. Well, I positioned the TV so you could see it through the window.
And then it would
I'd
flip through.
put it on a jump drive and put it through and then hit play and then just let it play. But I mean, I spent hours building
Like changing that
slideshows
in.
and printing off booklets. And it was when QR codes were first a thing, I stopped doing the flyers.
Oh yeah, the flyers that you used to put on the sign.
Signs. Yeah. Well, that was right when smartphones, so about 2012, 2013. And I'd print and I'd laminate it, the QR code, and it was just a sheet, click or scan for more information. And then I'd take super glue and do a bead right down the edge of the sign, and glue the thing to the sign. And then when that house sold, I'd just rip it off, throw it away,
Do
print
the
off
same
a new
thing
one
next
for the
time.
next one. But it only went to that house. But yeah, that was, because back then too, people were doing the phone numbers, where you'd call the automated system and then you could hear and listen, oh, this home is 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, and it was, did you ever run into those?
No.
Well, that was a thing. The high-end agents back in the day, they'd have their name and a phone number, call for more information, and you'd call the phone number and it was just
A pre-recorded
thing saying, the home listed at 620 Brownfield is 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms on 2 acres and whatever it was. Yeah, so that was a pre-record. People would come through and try and sell you pre-recorded programs and stuff so you could.
Well, before I bought this house, I didn't really have a buyer's agent like the house we bought, and it wasn't on, just from like the neighbor selling their house or, so I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't experience that, and then I've never heard of that, so that's interesting.
Yeah, it was all pre-recorded. And then they started doing, then it's progressed to the digital flyers, the email blasts, and all those types of things. CRMs now, you enter, somebody calls, you get their information,
Right.
Now you send them automated. It used to all just be, I mean, my dad's thing was somebody would call and say, I want to sell this. He'd say, yeah, I know who I'm going to call. And he had a list.
He knew what they were.
People he talked to, or he usually called, if it was like mountain property, he'd call the neighbors. Just say, hey, neighbor's
Just so
going to
you
sell.
know, this is.
Are you interested, kind of thing. I remember he said that some guy came in, and my dad was bad. I mean, we'd be driving through town, people would wave. I'm like, who's that? I don't know. Who's that? I was like, how do you not know? And some guy had come in, went into Grandpa's office, Dad said, and he sat there. He said, and they talked and bullshitted for 2 hours. The guy finally left, because Grandpa's had his own little office. Everybody else, it was just a big room. He left, and my dad looked at Grandpa and goes, who the hell was that? And he goes, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? He goes, I don't know. Just wait. And he waited, and the guy went out, got in his pickup, and started driving down. And just as he started driving away, Grandpa ran out the front door and looked at the license and wrote down the license plate, because Converse County used to issue license plate books.
Oh, really?
And he went back to his desk, took out his little book, found the number, found the guy's name, said, oh, hell, I know him.
It was just not like connecting.
Yeah.
That is funny.
So all the old things.
But you just fake it until you figure it out. Yeah.
He said they talked forever. And Dad was making fun of me because I got really lucky by getting to work with my parents, both of them, Mom and Dad. Because, I got to see them every day.
Yeah.
And if I was doing something, my kids, even when I was working in Casper, living here, my kids, Grandma and Grandpa would pick them up.
Yeah.
From school and take them home.
Yeah.
But.
Well, and the other thing is hearing those stories, like you're saying, when even after your dad passed, people would come in and talk, and like, I just love that, like you heard those stories or you knew things about him, and that when you don't have that as much interaction, you only see him on, Thanksgiving and Christmas, like unfortunately some of us don't live close to our family, then you get to know them better and know their legacy or their, whatever.
Well, yeah, the fun stories, because like the stories where he and Grandpa would argue about the fax machine. And they'd argue about the computer. I took a continuing education class with Steve Willoughby.
Yeah.
And the concept he was talking about was e-signatures, because that was a new thing, where you could send it off for an electronic signature. And there was a big debate going on whether or not that was good or bad. And my dad was a lawyer, so
how are we going to prove that it was this person? And
you're losing this, and you're losing that, and you don't have this interaction. You're going to lose this, and I couldn't help myself, so I raised my hand and I started arguing with him.
The other,
saying, but it's going to make this better. It's going to improve this. It's going to improve that. And Steve Willoughby. He's just fantastic. I enjoy his classes. I really do.
Me too.
And he's just sitting at the front, and he's just kind of grinning, and I wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah.
But we argued
just
for
having
about
a discussion,
5 or 10 minutes. And then I think we both kind of just conceded to just stop talking. And we weren't sitting next to each other. We were sitting across the class. And Steve goes, what's really fun, and there's probably 30 people in there, he goes, he is that guy's broker. And everybody thought that was funny. And then he goes, and then it gets better because he is that guy's son. And all the old timers just started laughing. But so watching my dad, and then I got to have those same arguments with my dad over technology.
Right.
That my dad had with his. When I bought a drone, I had the wonderful idea. I tried to do it with like a cheapo drone for listing photos and stuff. And it was bad. It was, it was bad. Because I found one, and we sold one at Verizon. I was like, I'm going to buy that one. It's $200. Yeah. And it was bad. And so I started researching, and I found out, they actually had drones with cameras. And I saved up, and I bit the bullet, and I went and bought one. And we had that off the grid property. And I took pictures from the air, showing the 40 acres, the house, the mountains behind, the views, all those things that we take for granted now. Right. It used to be you were standing in front with a click and shoot camera that saved to a floppy disk. That's what they had beforehand.
Yeah. And no professional photos.
Oh, no.
Nobody did that.
Nobody did that. And I bought the drone and came back, and I was trying to make the movie, and on my laptop, Dad's not, but the drone was sitting on my desk. And he walked in, he's like, what the hell is that? So I explained it. And he goes, that's stupid. I said, what? He goes, it's stupid. He goes, how much was that? I said, $1,500. And I shaved $300 off. It cost me $1,800. He was like, $1,500 for that toy? He goes, you're an idiot. And he turned around and went in his office. And I was like, okay. Grouchy old man. Because he was really gruff. He had that deep voice, but he was a nice guy. Yeah. But he would, if he'd argue.
He was just going to tell you.
He's going to tell you. And I put together the video. It took me hours, and it was only like 90 seconds. And I was like, hey, come watch this. And he came over, and I hit play. And he watched maybe 15 seconds and turned around and started walking back to his office. And I was like, you grouchy old son of a bitch. And then just as he rounded the corner, he goes, I'll pay for half that stupid thing. Got him.
Okay.
Got it. And then for a long time, I was the only one that did drone photos around town. And that was 2017.
When you got it.
This is when I started that. And then it changed. The rules had changed. It said, you know, as long as you weren't charging, you didn't have to have a commercial license through the FAA.
Oh, okay.
But then that one video I had posted, I had like 80, 90,000 views on this property.
Crazy.
And people were commenting, and then I'd figure out where they, who it was, and I'd pull up the profile, and I'm like, oh shit, they're in California. And I was like, oh, this is getting, I'm a little nervous now because I don't have a license, and more people are seeing this than I had
just thought a couple people around town would see it, or
So then I was like, oh shit. So then I went and got my
the
drone
license
license
to do it.
so I could do it, because now the rule is if you are furthering a business, so it doesn't matter if you're getting paid or not.
Yeah.
If you're taking pictures
Anything
with a
for
drone,
a business,
listing photos, listing videos, even YouTube content.
Right, that's a business.
It's furthering a business now. You have to be licensed, otherwise it's a $10,000 fine to the realtor and $1,000 per property. So it's $11,000 per thing if you're not licensed now. So I got lucky because I kind of stumbled into it just because I was sticking around and trying to do something different. So.
Interesting. So did you, so how, now you do the drone, you do videography, you do photography, you like to edit. But so how did that interest come into it? Was it through real estate, or were you kind of already interested in that and they just meshed, or what?
It was all just through real estate.
Okay.
Because I was trying to figure out, because I figured out I could take the pictures. I was like, okay, that's cool. So then I was filming the outsides of houses. And I was like, okay, well, that's cool. But then I would cut and just kind of do a slideshow of the pictures inside. I was like, this isn't, it didn't feel right to me. So I Googled and researched, and I found you could buy a little camera by the same company that made my drone that had a stabilizer.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't, this when you walk through. And I had just helped some friends buy a flip in Casper. Well, we helped them buy it, and then they renovated the whole thing over in Mills. And they rented it out for a year and a half, and then they were going to sell it.
They decided to sell it. Okay.
And I was like, she called and she's like, hey, we're going to sell that house. And I was like, okay. I found it on Facebook, and I ordered it off of, or bought it from a guy, and he shipped it up to me from Denver. And I was like, okay, this is where I'm going to figure it out. I was like, do I have your permission to play and figure this out? 'Cause I don't know
This
what
is
I'm
a
doing.
new,
And they were like, yeah, cool, do whatever you want to do. And so I did it and made the video and posted it up on Facebook, and the house sold, and I was like, okay, I'm onto something. And so then I just kind of kept doing that. And then since I was licensed, then I was like, oh, I can charge people for this. So then that's what I started doing
it
that.
for other people.
Started doing it for other people, and I was doing my own listing photos, and people were hiring me just for videos. And Sarah Johnston up in Lovell, I had been doing her drone videos of the outsides of the homes and the videos of the insides. And she called me one day while I was at one of her listings, and she was like, hey, do you take listing photos? I was like, what? She said, do you take listing photos, or do you only do the video? I was like, well, I suppose I've got the camera. I'll try. I said, I don't. She's just figure out what you charge me and just take some pictures. And I was like, okay. So then I took some, and I remember because I sent them to her. I said I wasn't sure what your style would be. Because some people like different things. I said, so this is what I did. And she just emailed back and said, that's my style, exclamation point. I was like,
okay.
Okay. So then I was like, well, if I'm going to charge for it, I got to figure out how to do it correctly.
Make better or
make it look better. How can I improve on what I'm already doing? Because I was always trying to figure out how to make the videos better, how to make the homes better, how to make the texts, how to draw property lines, all of that stuff. And then so that kind of just filtered into, okay, well now how do I take a good picture? How do I take a picture where you see the inside, but you can still see what's outside? Because everybody wants the windows to pop.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants just
Black
a white square.
or whatever, yeah.
Yeah. But then that flowed to back to when I was, before, I was really selling, when I was showing homes, I was showing a lot of rentals for my mom. And somebody called and said, hey, would you go take some pictures? And I said, yeah, sure, I can send you some pictures. And my mom got mad. She's like, no, you can't. I was like, what? She says, you can't send them pictures. I was like, well, why? She said, because the pictures won't look like the property when you walk in. It's different. And I was like, what? And she said, yeah. She had a guy rent an apartment from her sight unseen over the pictures, drove here from 3 states
and then
away,
didn't like it,
and absolutely threw a fit and said, I will not stay here. Give me my money back. Now where am I going to stay? I have no place to live. And I mean, she felt so bad. I mean, she found him something because she managed a whole bunch of different rentals, but she felt so bad. From then on, she said, you will never send anybody a picture. You can send them a picture and see if they like it.
Right,
But
you
nobody's
can't,
going to sign I mean, because they were faxing leases.
Yes.
She's like, they will not put down money and they will not sign a lease unless they step foot in it.
Yeah.
So then I remembered that. So the more I dove into taking pictures of listings, I wanted it to look like the house.
Right.
I don't want it to be perfect.
Yeah. Or I always say, like, it seems like you're catfished sometimes.
I did that.
But at the same time, and I think sometimes, have you tried to take a picture of a bathroom? Like, you go through the door, it's like, so sometimes you do need those wide angle lenses or, so sometimes it's not on purpose.
No.
Sometimes it is.
Well, and sometimes it's just a different style. So like, I don't use any extra light. It's just what's there.
Natural,
natural light. But there's another style where you can go through with a flash and take 3 or 4 different exposures. So it's all perfectly lit. And so all the colors look perfect.
Yeah.
And then you merge them together and edit it. But to me, when I look at it, my eye sees plastic. I think it looks too edited. But that's just my preference.
Yeah, your style.
But then as the realtor side of me, I was like, I don't want it to look like that because that's not what people see when they walk in the door.
Yeah.
I was showing homes to friends in Casper, and we walked in, and he was pissed. He's like, this looks nothing like the photo.
Yeah.
He said,
it's one thing to make it look its best, but it's a complete other to make it be something not accurate.
And to be fair, all they had done was make it look its best. I mean, it's just the lighting that was used was not the lighting that was in the house. There was only a lamp in the corner. It was dark. So, I mean, they had tried to give it their best foot forward. And that's what I told him. I was like, look, I understand that you're mad. I said, but the photo did the job.
Right.
He goes, what?
I
said, the photo is supposed to get you to come look at it.
Yeah.
We're standing here, so it works.
Yeah, because you're not going to buy it. But then COVID, and I came in in 21, and people wanted to move here, buy a house they've never seen.
Yeah.
And have you as a real estate agent, like, be their eyes, and that's scary. So then we do video walkthroughs, but it's different than a marketing video.
Yeah.
Like, you can't go off of that either, because like, I will take my camera, and sure, it's a good phone camera, but you got to see, like, top to bottom, ceiling, like, okay, this is what the carpet looks like.
Yes, because and you don't know what's going to be.
Yeah.
important.
Well, and the scale is sort of off. Like, I don't even like to send them, or even do FaceTime, because sometimes that or like Zoom, it's not real detailed.
Yeah.
So it's interesting the way that things have changed.
I did one. Was a friend of ours, and unfortunately, she had Alzheimer's. So it was a trustee that had the house,
Okay.
and we listed it. And he's like, I can't answer anything. I've never lived there.
Yeah.
And we couldn't ask her because she didn't remember.
Yeah.
And somebody wanted to buy it sight unseen, video, and it was up to their inspection deadline. I said, are you going to be here to walk through the house? And they said, well, no, we saw the video. I was like, I said, I want you here. I want you to walk through it and see it in person before that deadline is up. I said, otherwise, I, in good conscience, I said, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't do this. Because I have nothing to rely on.
No idea.
I have no background on the house.
Yeah.
It's like, you have to come walk through it, or this just isn't going to work.
Yeah. Some people were buying in Wyoming. They've never even been here. They don't know what the neighborhoods look like. They don't, they're looking on, and there are not a lot of blogs or vlogs about Wyoming. I feel like there's more now than even in 21, but to see what it's really like. So I would drive down the street and because it's like, are you sure?
Are you really going to drop this much money on this when you haven't?
Yeah.
Well, my dad, we had a cabin up in Downey Park, and we ended up selling it. And nice family. He was a medic in the Army. And he and his wife, and they had 5 little kids, and they homeschooled. And they were going to buy this cabin that's 40 minutes away. And it had a generator and a well. I mean, it was my grandpa's version of a cabin. He picked up a house here in town.
Okay.
And when he had the construction company, poured a full foundation up in the mountains, and then just set the house on the foundation. So, I mean, it was not a cabin.
Yeah.
But
it was off grid?
It had an electric generator.
But not on the grid. It was just self. Okay.
There's no power poles up there. And they're all excited about buying it, and Dad's writing up the contract for him, and then Phil's like, yeah. He said, we're going to live there. He goes, well, what do you mean? He said, we're going to live there. Dad stopped. He goes, no, you're not. He's like, what? He said, no. He said, I won't sell this to you if you
are going to
unless you have another plan. He said, you don't understand when the snow, because this was back in the 80s and 90s, when it snows, we can't get there for 3 or 4 months. He said, I won't sell it to you with these kids. And so, I mean, they came to an agreement, and then they became friends. But
he's like, you have to realize
you can't tell me this. This is my house. I'm buying it. You can't tell me.
But you may not be able to get anything.
But that was just another thing. I mean, he knew it wasn't a sale. It was, you got to do the right thing.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not going to just let you
and just be like, oh, sucker.
Like, oh, cool.
That was your problem. No.
And I had that with, a young couple. They were looking for their first home, and it didn't qualify for financing. They were trying to figure out because it was too old.
Oh.
It was a double wide on a foundation, 1 acre over in Chalk Buttes, but it was their first house. I was like, no. I said, you see all the issues that you're having trying to buy it. We're going to have the same issue when you try to sell it. If you're 60 years old and you're retiring and planning on living in Douglas for the rest of your life, different story, but it's your first home. I don't feel good about this, and this is why. And they'd bought something else.
Yeah. Okay, well, maybe we've gone actually over most of the questions that I had about real estate and stuff. I do think that we should talk about the LaBonte sometime. Tell stories all about the LaBonte.
The LaBonte was fun. I mean, at the time, it was a nightmare for me. But again, I'm 22 years old I ran the bar, the restaurant, and the hotel. And then we had apartments up on the 3rd floor, and I was in charge of trying to make it all work. And it was just crazy. It was a different time. my grandfather and my grandmother ran it, and Grandpa did the cooking, Grandma took care of the hotel, and I mean, they did their thing, but it was a different time.
Yeah.
And my parents were still selling real estate full time, so
It was you.
That was my job, and I worked 14 days to get 2 days off, and those 2 days off, I went anywhere other than
in
the
town
hotel.
where somebody can
I was
get
like,
you.
Do not call me. Do not. I don't want to know.
Yes.
But it would kill me because I would. My parents they were just my parents, but I'd walk in on a Saturday, or no, a Sunday morning, and the restaurant's full because it's Sunday morning, and I walk in the back, and my dad's standing at the cook line flipping pancakes. And my mom's waiting tables, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? And they're like, well, the cook called in. I was like, so call another cook. And my dad just looked at me like indignant and pissed. He's like,
why would I do that?
I know how to make pancakes. I said, not fast enough. Yes, they're good.
Yes.
But not fast enough. So
It's different than
Yeah. But then it's small town, so as soon as
then
you go eat, you have a bad
have
experience.
to chat. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you have a bad experience as a customer, then you go away. You don't come back for at least a week or two. You got to earn their trust again. So that was crazy. We had
family and business.
Yeah, and then you've got all of that, and Dad told a story when Grandpa was, they had the hotel. There was a kid sitting there because it was the bus stop. The bus would stop, and people would go into the hotel and everything. And it was a busy lunch day, and there's a kid sitting at the end of the counter, and Grandpa's taking orders. He's like, what, you're not eating? And the kid said, no, I don't just got money for coffee. He said, I'm waiting for the bus. He said, well, I'll tell you what, kid. He said, I'll give you the lunch special. And then when you're done, wash dishes for me until the bus gets here, and we'll call it good. And the kid's like, all right. And I mean, it was, it was meatloaf and mashed. I mean, it was a 60s. It was a plate. And he left and gave the kid his food, came back, and all the locals were sitting at the lunch because it had a lunch counter. And that's where the kid was sitting. And they're all laughing because Harry got took.
Why?
Because the kid ate and left.
And left? Oh.
And was standing out on the corner.
Waiting for the bus.
And everybody's laughing and making fun of Grandpa, and he got pissed. And he goes running out there, and the kid goes, hi-ya! It was like a karate stance thing.
Yes.
And I guess Grandpa looked at him just like 2 seconds, punched him square in the face. He fell down. Grandpa grabbed him by the back of the neck and drug him across the street and threw him in the kitchen. And he washed dishes till the restaurant closed. He did not catch his bus. But that was the 60s. He had a deal. They had a cook, and I guess he liked to drink. And he wasn't, they were told after midnight they weren't allowed to serve him because he wouldn't show up for work. And whatever reason, Grandpa walked through the bar. It was 2 a.m. and the guy was
drinking,
half passed out at the end of the bar. And he grabbed him, and there was an elevator to the basement, took him downstairs in the elevator, went over to the dry goods room, threw him in there, went over to the housekeeping side, grabbed a pillow and a blanket, threw it in there, shut the light off, and locked the door. And left. The next morning, he went down there at 5:30, unlocked the door, flipped the switch, kicked him twice. The guy got up, went upstairs, started cooking. So it was a different time. It was supposed to be haunted. Supposedly the Buffalo Mount would watch you wherever you walked. There was a ghost, and Candace and everybody always laughed. They said the ghost was a female.
Okay.
So they said that the ghost had a crush on me.
Oh.
Because I went every morning, went in at 5:15, and the restaurant opened it at 6. And we had a drop safe in the walk-in cooler in the bar, so the bartenders could just drop the deposit, the bag with all the money, and then I would just unlock it and get it in the morning, so nobody had to be there.
Deal with it and afterwards,
Didn't matter what time, because I would open the restaurant, get that going, and that was my routine. I'd go in, get the money, check on things, go back to the office, but it didn't matter what time I walked through, the jukebox would start to play.
Really?
Different song every time, but it would play. And it was supposed to play every 15 minutes.
But it was always
it didn't matter if it was 6:10, if it was 6:45, if it wasn't 8 o'clock when I walked in there, it would go off.
Oh, how funny.
And so they said that was the
ghost playing you love songs.
And then if I ever went down there at night, if I'd stop and stand in one place for too long, the can light over my head would start to flicker.
Really?
Yeah. And they all just thought it was funny. And I was like, you guys are weird. And then I started watching. I'm like, shit, it's actually happening.
Okay.
It's okay, sure.
Hi, we're friends, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, and then we had, there was all sorts of stories. Because then they decided to have live bands every weekend. So we had a booker, and we had bands that came through, and they'd play Wednesday through Sunday.
Okay.
And it was a different band every week. And then we'd let them run tabs.
Oh.
So they could,
yeah.
Basically it worked out great because there was this one band and the lead singer would come through and find, the girl or bring a girl with him and trying to be cool.
Yeah.
Charging. So he'd charge his meals at the bar or at the, in the restaurant. So then I could take all their meals and total it up. I was like, so we owe you guys $2,000 for the weekend.
And
but your tab is $1,400. So here's $600.
Have a nice day.
You guys have a good day. So we had those. It was a trip. Somebody asked once when we were trying to sell this, so why isn't it selling? I said, because I don't live here. I said, if I lived here, I would get divorced. I cannot be here all the time. My parents, they're try, but they can't be here all the time either.
It needs somebody.
It needs somebody because a restaurant kitchen is just so many things.
And so now is it separate? Because right now Ramos is in there but is it ran separately, like the bar and the
restaurants are lease the space.
Okay.
So they pay a lease to the owner. And then the bar and the hotel and that are still there.
Now, is it still a hotel? Okay.
Yep, there's 22 rooms on the second floor.
Okay.
Some singles, some doubles, and Macy Moore, her family, when they purchased it, they did a lot of remodeling upstairs, and they made the rooms really nice. Ours still looked like it from the 80s. I mean, it was still a little ghetto. But State Fair would always be busy. The rooms would rent out for the weekend and everything, and it was a lot of crazy chaos. Caused some fights. My sister hated it. She was 8th grade when they bought it. And we moved. That was the thing, was my parents said, well, you're going to live with us.
Oh.
You, Candace, Bradley, and the baby
How nice.
are going to live with us, and we're not going to charge you rent. So then we don't have to pay you anything.
Oh, no, we still need money.
No, we're not going to pay you
That's not going to work.
to run the hotel because you can eat for free.
Yeah.
And then, obviously we'll buy
All you
groceries
need
for the
is,
house.
Yeah, food.
I was like, oh, this worked well.
It was a good idea for them.
Yeah, it worked out great for them. But then they made my sister work there and wait tables. And then she had to run it with me for a summer. And she did not like it. She did not like it. And I got into quite a few fights with my parents over it just because I was like, you don't understand. I said, I'm here.
The manager.
I'm stuck. I've committed to this. My family's committed to this. She's not. So stop. She doesn't like it.
And it doesn't work if she doesn't.
Yeah. It's like, just leave her be. She doesn't want it. She doesn't want to be a part of it. And at that point I was like, I want out of this too.
Yeah.
But I mean, looking back, there's a lot of fun stories and stuff, I had a cook. It was my first introduction to dealing with employees. I had 23 employees. And
that's quite a bit for like a business for Douglas. That's,
Well, we had, in the kitchen, there was probably 12 of those positions was kitchen staff. And in 1 year, we ran 130 people through those.
Dang.
Just because the turnover rate for a dishwasher.
Yeah.
We had a kitchen manager. He hired 5 guys one day, or 3. He hired 3 all at the same time for one job. I was like, what the hell are you doing? He goes, watch. He said, watch. By the end of the week, there's only going to be one if we're lucky. And at what end of the week, there was only one kid that stayed. And we were paying higher than the other town or people. The waitresses were like $4 plus their tips. Bartenders were $7 plus their tips. And it's still just trying to keep. One gal disappeared and just middle of shit, just gone. So then I'm trying to figure out what's going on. It was just kind of a crazy time. I had a kitchen manager and I had a cook. And I called. I said, hey, I said, you didn't talk to your cook. She goes, what? I said, he's dealing drugs out the back door of the kitchen. No, he's not. I said, yes, he is. I'm telling you, it stops because he was also renting an apartment. I said, so, but he was a really good cook. He was, and, we showed up for his shifts. The food was always good. It was fast.
That sucks.
And so I told her, I said, this is it. You got to fix it. Because if I have to fire him. I said, so fix it. He's not. I said, okay. 3 hours later, I'm sitting in the office, and there's just a badge tapping on my window. And there's an undercover sheriff, and 3 cops are running up the stairs. 3 are getting on the elevator. And I just opened the window. I said, it's apartment 10. Please don't break my door. She goes, well, are you going to warn him? I was like, just don't break my door. I don't want to fix the door. And they went upstairs, and I left the office. I went to the bar. I went behind the bar. Didn't say anything. Poured 2 shots. Took 2 shots of Crown. And the bartenders were just staring at me, and everybody's real quiet.
This is not normal, Tyler.
And I went back, and I sat at my desk, and put my feet up, and I waited. And 10 minutes later, here he comes down in cuffs, no shirt. And she hands me the key. She goes, he had a deadbolt. We had to kick the door in. Damn it!
It's the only thing.
And so I called the manager, kitchen manager. I was like, so the guy that's not dealing just got arrested. You open tomorrow at 5:30. I hung up. So there's all sorts of weird stuff. But that's just, the ghost was probably the fun.
So how long has the LaBonte been in Douglas? Do you know?
I want to say like 1920, 20s or 30s.
Okay.
I mean, it goes way back. It used to have a courtyard. So where the dance hall and everything is now, it used to have a nice courtyard. A local gal did a drawing of it. She sketched it on the wall. The original, the charcoal. Oh no, it was a guy. A guy did it.
Okay.
And yeah, he did this amazing drawing from an old picture.
Oh, cool.
And it was just right on the wall.
Okay. That's so cool. So, and we've talked about doing business the old school way and in Converse County. How do you merge doing business the old school way, but with the modern technology?
That's a good question. I feel this just comes down to the people. I mean, I've kind of always been, I'm not pressure. I'm very low pressure. With you guys as agents, with my clients, if you want to work with me, call me. I love the opportunity to help. I mean, it's so much fun helping somebody buy, especially the first home, or do whatever they're trying to do.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely one that's just like, you know what? If you want to work with me, give me a call. And if you don't, that's fine too. Because I feel like there's enough business for everybody. I don't need to take clients from other people. What I just tell people is like, this is the way that I do it. If they list their home with me for sale, I just had a listing appointment on Friday. I said, there's lock boxes, there's all these wonderful things. I personally don't do that. If you list your home with me, and this is something Casper agents I've told, and they get this shock of horror look on their face. They're like, you do what? I show up for every time the house is being shown. So I unlock the door, I turn the lights on, let the dog out if I need to let, any of those little things. But then when the other agent shows up with their client, I'm like, hey, this is the home. This is what I know about it. This is when the roof was replaced. This is what they've done. Updates. This is when this was done. If you've got any questions, just let me know and I go sit in the car. and I let them be free to walk through and look at the home. That's the way my grandfather did it. That's the way my dad did it. And their theory was if we're being hired to sell the house, we should be there. Now, I told them, kids, life, everything gets so crazy nowadays. I still try to do that to the best of my ability. But if I have appointments this afternoon in Casper. I made these appointments on Thursday. Somebody called on Sunday to show the house today. I'm like, oh, I can't reschedule these other things. So I asked my sellers, and that's what I tell them. It's like, are you cool with that? And I will try to be here. If I can't, we'll have a conversation. And if you're cool, we'll still schedule it. If not, we'll work it out.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the way I take that old stuff. And then the new stuff is just everything that you can do for marketing. We've got the 3D tours, the Matterport. I bought one of those cameras so that way I can offer it to sellers. Just as extra, I had somebody say, well, the home's not really being shown a lot. I was like, yeah, but it's got like 3 times the Matterport tours than homes I usually do. So it's being seen. Just in a different way. So, but then also there's the videos, and you can make the videos as flashy and whatever you want to do. But again, when I'm taking pictures or videos, I want people to have a feel for the home from that. I don't want somebody to watch it and be like, okay, well, that bedroom's cool, but where the hell is it in relation to the kitchen?
Yes. That's a pet peeve. Like, wait, why is that? Yeah.
You don't understand.
You can't tell.
Yeah, you can't.
If they're not put in the right order or,
And I try to do, I even take that, and maybe I'm OCD, I don't know. But I take that even when I'm putting the pictures on the MLS. I try to line them up.
Right. In the order that you walk in.
You walk in, you see this living room, you see the kitchen over here, you see this, you see this. Okay, now we'll get to the cool master bedroom and the bathroom and stuff like that. So I think it's just being able to take all of these new things that are great tools, but also talk to the people and tell them why we're doing these things.
It's not replacing that one-on-one.
Yeah, it's there to enhance things, but it's still us. We still have to talk. We have to have that rapport. I went on the listing appointment and I told him, this is everything I'm going to tell you about the home. This is what I think you need to do. I'm going to give you a price opinion now that I've been able to meet you and walk through and see what it's about. But you're not obligated to work with me. I don't expect
pressure sales.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'll give you all the information. I'm going to, whether you list it with me or not, this is all the information you need to know about selling your home. If you choose to work with me, fantastic. If you choose not to, I understand that too. That's fine. That's what I told you guys when we talked about if you wanted to come work at Johnston Realty. This is what I do. This is how I do it. This is the way I'm going to expand and do these things. And if that's cool, great. I'm really excited. I'm thankful for the opportunity to get to work with anybody, whether they're other agents or they're my clients as a buyer or seller. Even the agents that hire me to take pictures, it's an opportunity they're allowing me to work with them or to work with you guys. So that I take very seriously and try to do the best that I can with, if I don't know something, I'll be the first to, I don't know, I know where I can find an answer. But by having that conversation and that one-on-one, I think it sets you up for the best possible relationship and say, and now we've got all these other things that we can do too. These are just going to enhance what we can do as far as us working together.
Right. I love that. So what are your favorite parts of living and working and running a business here in Douglas, Converse County?
I get to cheat because I've sit and listened to you interview other people too. And it's the people. It is. You've got clients And I don't know, because I'm so low pressure, I'm not one that's going to continuously, if you ask for information, I'll call and, we'll have a conversation. I'll get you the information. But I'm not going to call you back in 3 or 4 days. What'd you think? What'd you think? Well, what about this? Well, what about this? And after the sale, I've had people say, hey, you should come see the house. I love that. I want to see what you've done.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're selling it. I just want to see what you've done.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you're happy with your purchase, that you're doing what you wanted to do. I had a couple, I tried to sell this house a few years ago, so it didn't work. And then we redid it just recently, and it did work. And it was really cool. Sorry.
You're okay.
Well, now what's really cool is they're closed, and I know they're going to be building their dream home. And we're friends on Facebook, and I don't talk all the time, randomly, but then I see a story on his Facebook page of the progress as they're working. And that's so much fun.
Yeah.
That's cool. But I'm not going to keep, it's like I'm always there if you need something, but I'm also not trying to do the salesman thing and just keep pushing. That's just not me. I don't like that personally. I hate that. So I looked at it to other people.
Yeah.
And I think it maybe is a little bit of a detriment where I kind of lose touch with some people because I don't seek it out to keep that relationship. But I'm always happy.
Yeah.
Call me if you've got a question. A guy, he bought his home 4 years ago. 4 years ago. And I never met him. Talked to him on the phone, and it was an agent that was working for me at that time that is no longer with us. And I ended up selling him the house because the other guy just kind of quit contact. He decided he wanted to look at Douglas. And I helped him buy his house. That was, like I said, 4 years ago. And he called me last week. Hey, your dad, did he keep records of these things downtown? I'm like, whoa, I know. I know. I mean, but then we sat and we talked for like 15 minutes, and it was nothing about real estate. He had questions about town, the history, and when did this subdivision get built, and that type of stuff. I'm like, dude, I don't know. I said, you can talk to the city planner, you can go to the library. I said, if you tell me the addresses, I can pull it up on the map server, because it shows me what times the houses were built.
Right.
So then I'm like picking this house and telling them the date.
Well,
what about this one? Yeah, so then I'm just 10 minutes of clicking on random homes and just saying, well, these were when these were built, and this is when this was built. Okay, well, thanks, buddy. And that was it. That was fun. I like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
So that's the type of stuff. And then you see the community and all of the things that are available. And it is such a kind community where people do lots to try to help other people. And I mean, it is a great place to live. It's odd for me with my kids going to school here, because some of the kids I went to school with are now teaching my children. Like, that's kind of weird. We took Bradley for kindergarten screening, and the counselor saw us walk in, and she looked at me. She's like, "No." I said, what? She's like, "He's not." I said, "He is. He's starting school." No. I said, "Yes."
I know.
So, and there's so many things to get involved with. My mother was involved in absolutely everything. She was on the hospital board. Dad was on the fair posse. He did all of these things. And they were on all these boards and all that. And I've kind of gone the other way, where I'm not. But we had so many kids, and they were all so young and close in age, that I kind of went the other way. So I was just home. I wasn't at work. I was with my kids.
Right. Maybe your time will come. But you're got to focus on your family.
Yeah, but it's just one of those, there's so many opportunities to be involved if you want to.
Yeah.
So, and if you're not involved, you can always talk to the people that are and just say, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
I didn't go to the meeting.
Yeah.
what's
It's
happening
easy to
with
find
this?
out. It's
Yeah.
not tucked back where people can. So what would you say that your advice is for the next generation of Converse County, whether that be people moving in here from other places or kids who are becoming adults? What would you advise?
So for the kids that are becoming adults, it's what I tell my kids. It's like, stop being in a hurry. Life is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Bradley was really upset a couple years ago. He's like, wow, I'm in school and my friends are buying cars and so-and-so got a new home. I was like, dude, you're going to college to play, and you're paying for it, playing video games. You had a video game scholarship to go to school and get an education. You're right where you need to be. There's no rush. There's no hurry. Ty, my oldest daughter, she took all of these concurrent classes in college or in high school, and was supposed to graduate college in 3 years. And it took 2.5 years because of just some screw ups trying to get transcripts moved. And it finally happened in September. And she's like, she called. She was just hysterical. She was so upset. She was just upset, mad. She's like, Dad, I'm not going to graduate in 3 years. I was like, so what? She's like, well, I'm not going to get it done. I was like, are you still going to graduate? She's like, yeah. I said, then who gives a shit? I said,
no one will remember. No one will even think about it. Like it's just.
If it's important to you,
it is.
I get it, but it's not important to Mom and I. So why are you so upset about it? Let it just let it be. So that's just because of the day and age that we're in, the whole, you got to do it now. It's got to be done. It's got to be this. It's got to be that.
But I see people that they want to buy the house that their parents have now, and it's like, dude, you're just 20, and you start out. It's okay to start out a little small starter home. You don't have to have a new house and a new car and a wife and kids, and it's okay.
Yeah, you can't
be so far in debt and have the boat and have the whatever you got, and not even be able to enjoy life.
Well, and if you have to think about it too, I mean, you think about where your parents were at when you finally got married. Well, they were in the same spot.
Yeah. You don't remember that because you weren't.
Yeah. Well, it's like listening to people talk. I'm like, well, we were talking about the kids. Well, they thought they're getting away with this, and they thought that I was like, yeah. So they think they know everything, and they're like, yeah. I said, so did we. It's the same thing, but now you're just on the other side. So that's my advice for younger people: is just stop being in such a hurry to grow up. And I never understood it. I worked three jobs in high school. I wanted to buy a car. The Mustangs. I wanted a Mustang so bad, and my dad refused to let me buy a car. Yes, he's like, you have to pay bills your entire life. You don't need to do it now. You're a kid.
Just be a kid.
Go buy your CDs, go to the movies, whatever, but you can't buy a car. And then we got married and I had a kid at 19, and woo, he was right.
Bills
I get it.
Aren't that cool?
So, I mean, that's just hindsight.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what you tell kids, they're not going to believe you anyway. For the people that are coming into the community, do try to get involved. I do feel it's still kind of small town at times. And that's just, but I don't think you're going to get away from that really anywhere.
I think there's so much, of course you have negative small town things, but there's so much positive about the small town that it doesn't.
Yeah, it kind of negates itself. And I think I see it in Casper too, even though it's a bigger town, they're still the same thing. And I think it's just human nature.
Yeah.
But definitely, you'll find your people.
Yeah.
The people that you're supposed to fall in with are the people you will.
Yeah.
Just keep trying. Don't stop. You will. And I know that's something that we talk about as agents, you'll find the people that you're supposed to work with.
Yeah.
Those people will come seek you out. Don't get worried or stressed about it.
Yeah.
So if you're new to town, attend some different clubs, attend some different events. There's so many different things that go on. So attend 3 or 4, see if you find your group,
Yeah.
and just kind of, that's where it all kind of starts, is that group and that community, and it'll kind of go from there.
Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you for talking with me, and thank you for joining our conversation. If you have any stories that you'd like to tell or that you would like to see or hear, definitely let us know, and make sure you subscribe, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Okay, I talked way too much.
No, I thought it was good.